Hi all, this is Shweta Reddy from R.M.K College of Engineering and Technology. In this video, we are going to see about the introduction to object-oriented programming and its characteristics. Now here in this slide, we are going to see about some introduction to object-oriented programming. First, what is object-oriented programming? Object-oriented programming is nothing but the methodology or a paradigm to design a software application based on objects. That is, in order to design a software, we will follow a methodology based on objects. Objects are nothing but the real world entities. That is, I can say it is a physical entity. Objects have a well-defined boundary. That is, we can differentiate one object with one another. And why this object-oriented programming was developed? Can anyone say? This object-oriented programming was developed in order to remove the flaws in procedural programming. And now you'll be thinking about what is this procedural programming. Procedural programming is nothing but the program is divided into several parts called functions. I can say C will be following procedural programming. And coming to object-oriented programming, the program in object-oriented programming is divided into several parts called objects and class. I can say Java is following an object-oriented programming. And what about the C++? C++ will be following both procedural and object-oriented programming. Next, we are going to see about the characteristics of object-oriented programming. The characteristics of object-oriented programming are objects, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. Now, let us see one by one in the next coming slide. First one is objects. As I said earlier, objects are the real world entities. That is, I can say it is a physical entity. And objects can be differentiated with one another. For example, let me take a book. Why it is used to write something, we use a book. And for writing in the book, we would need some pencil or a pen. So properties and behavior of a book and a pencil is different. Now you will be thinking and asking me, what is this properties and behavior? Properties means, I'll take an example of human. Look at the diagram there. Human will have some properties and behavior. Properties of the human is nothing but name, color, height, weight, etc. And behavior of the human is walking, running, sleeping, reading, etc. So properties are nothing but the features and behavior is nothing but the performance or a task. Another example here is train. The properties of the train are train number, train name, number of seats, etc. And the behavior of the train is to reserve ticket, to cancel ticket, to check availability, etc. So any object will be having some properties and behavior. And these properties are nothing but the features and the behavior is nothing but the performance. Hope this is clear. Next is class. Class is nothing but a template or a blueprint from which the objects are created. A single class may have many objects, and class is a logical entity whereas object is a physical entity. Let me tell you an example for differentiating class and object. Let me take a class with many students. So class name I am taking here is as student. In that class there will be many students with different names. Let me take 3 students in a class named Ram, Sam and Abhi, which are nothing but objects. So here student is a class and these 3 names inside the class, that is Ram, Sam and Abhi, are the objects. So each object will have different properties and behavior. As I said earlier, properties are nothing but the features and behavior is nothing but the performance or the task. Next one is abstraction. Abstraction is nothing but only giving the essential features by hiding all the implementation details. Let me explain you with the example. Let me take a car. A driver is going in a car in 100 km/h and suddenly there is an obstacle, so he need to apply brake. So he quickly presses on the brake pedal and after applying the brake, the car gets stops. But the driver may not know after pressing the brake pedal what is happening inside the car to get stopped. He only knows after pressing the brake it gets stopped. So this is what called as abstraction. That is hiding all the implementation details and showing only the essential features. Next we are going to see encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of data and methods together in a single class. In encapsulation, data in a class is hidden from another class. So it is also called as data hiding. Now see here in the figure, in a single class I am going to wrap the methods and variables. Here student is a class and variables are nothing but the properties, which are nothing but the features, that is name, roll number, date of joining. And methods are nothing but the behavior. Behavior is nothing but the performance or a task, that is what a student can do. He can read, write, play, etc. So this is what called as encapsulation. Next one is inheritance. We will see the detailed video of inheritance in the next coming videos. Now here in this slide we are going to see what is inheritance and what are its types. Inheritance is nothing but acquiring the properties of one class by the another class. Here we will be using two or more classes based on the type of inheritance used. The classes used here are base class and derived class. Base class is nothing but whose features are inherited. It is also called as parent class or superclass. And the other one is derived class. Derived class is nothing but the class that inherits the other class. It is also called as child class or subclass. So types of inheritance are single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. These three inheritance can be supported directly in Java, whereas the other two inheritances, that is multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance, can't be accessed directly in Java, but they can be accessed with the help of interfaces. The use of interfaces can be seen in the next coming videos. The last characteristics of object-oriented programming is polymorphism. Polymorphism is nothing but the ability of an object to take many forms. Let me tell you with an example. Look here, we are going to perform the same addition operation but in two different ways. One is without any arguments, the other one is by passing two parameters. Anyway, the operation is same, that is it is going to perform the addition operation only, but the ways of performing that addition operation is different. And now there are two types of polymorphism. They are compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. We will see detailedly about these two, that is compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism, in the forthcoming videos. Hope you understood the introduction to object-oriented programming and its characteristics. Thank you all. Have a great day.